Hey guys, you know who it is? Actually, you don't know who it is because I haven't told you my name. Anyhow, like I said, I'm going to be expanding the reviews by genre if you've watched any of my other videos. So this will be the first video that's rock or shoegaze or dream pop, whatever you want to call it out there. But there's definitely more to come, and I'll be expanding the genres. I know I just said that. Whoops. Like I said in my reviews, I listen to a lot of different music, and I'm pretty much just a giant whore for sound. Anyhow, today we'll be taking a look at Beach House's new album, 7. So, let me start by saying, up until yesterday, I refused entirely to listen to this band. The reason why was because of a dude that I met at Whole Foods. As you can imagine, there was a lot of hipsters there, but there was just one dude in particular who always had this long laundry list of bands that he had hoped that nobody heard of. And he thought, of course, that these bands made him more interesting or sound more intelligent or appear to be deep. You know the type. Amongst this long list of boring ass bands that nobody really cared for except for him was Beach House. He had always had this smug look on his face when he'd ask me, "Have you ever listened to Beach House? You've never heard of Beach House? Man, you should listen to Beach House. You've never heard Beach House." He also proclaimed them to be one of the best dream pop shoegaze bands of all time. But I'm always skeptical of these individuals that say this that have never heard of My Bloody Valentine, Ride, Spiritualized, or bands that influenced that whole movement like Brian Eno, the Frippin' Eno combination, or The Cure, and that's just to name a few. There's plenty of bands out there. But if you've never heard My Bloody Valentine's Loveless, I want to hear it. Needless to say, out of spite, I never checked them out. Until Apple yesterday had suggested them in my new music section. I have to say that I like what I heard. Now, before you ask, yes, I am wearing a Big Sean t-shirt to review Beach House. I'm not one of those individuals that dress like what I listen to, or a variety of different clothes. Yeah, you'll see me in the hoodie because that's the standard. I'm just going outside or going to work because I practically live there now. But yeah, so suck it up. Anyways, I love this album so far. It's got a lot of shimmery guitars, a lot of fuzzy leads. It's just right up my alley, actually, which I was really surprised about. Um, it was definitely enjoyable. Starts off with Dark Spring, which pretty much reminds me of a less heavy While You Sleep by My Bloody Valentine. It's got a fuzz out rhythm that kind of plays the background to this distorted tremolo and these shimmery guitars and whispery vocals. And in the last 40 seconds, it's got this really groaning, distorted guitar lead that pretty much leads into this like sucking sound that sucks you right into the next song. Pay No Mind. Literally felt like I was sucked from one dimension to the next dimension. Pay No Mind kind of reminds me of a track that is easily reminiscent of Jesus and Mary Chain or early Smashing Pumpkins, like the B-side of Siamese Dream era. I think that album was Pisces Iscariot. Then all of a sudden we land on Lemon Glow. I don't know if it's pitched up guitar or a sample of a pitched up guitar, and it's got this like almost hip hop beat supporting it. And then halfway through the song, it's got these distressed, fuzzed out leads that play call and response between your speakers or headphones. It was right up my alley. Totally dig it. Definitely one of my faves. Then, I don't even know how to say this. I'm about to totally butcher this. La Canoe enters, and I'll totally be honest. This is where I was like, this is what I expected. This is where the fillers come in. It's just gonna be these whispery vocals. I'm so deep. This is so beautiful. And this is where the album just totally takes a dive. Wrong. Wrong. I was slapped in the face by these Queen-esque leads, these like harmonized, fuzzed out leads that almost kind of remind me of like Smashing Pumpkins when they tried to exercise their Queen influence. It was awesome, and I think somebody was speaking French in there as well. Drunk in LA is one of those songs that keeps these types of album grounded. Perhaps if you're not a person who really listens to this type of music or you're totally new to it, it's more straightforward and direct. It pretty much just keeps albums like this from sounding like audio mosaic or like ambient music. Still a good track. But like I said, not too much to say about it. It's just good. It's just straightforward. Dive surprised me the same way that La in Canoe did, but in a sweeter way. It starts out with the whispery vocals and the airy pads, glassy guitars. And then all of a sudden, the cymbals kind of just build up into a texture to what leads into this like guttural, almost raw, charging guitar riff supported by what seems to be a drum machine beat. There's a lot of beats on here, or I'm sorry, not beats, drum rhythms that sound like they could be from like a drum machine. I'm not sure. If someone's familiar with this band, leave it in the comment section. If that's something that they do, because again, like I said, this is the first time I've ever listened to them. A phased out guitar lead kind of comes in, and that whole charging rhythm plus that just kind of leads you to the end. It's really nice, it's sweet. I probably listen to that one the most, that and Lemon Glow. Black Car kind of has that intro that reminds me, if anybody's ever played Secret of Evermore on SNES, it's an RPG, of when the main character meets Fire Eyes. And then the rest of the song's okay. Now, this song and maybe like a couple of other songs, they weren't bad songs, but on albums like this, I would really say they're more so just part of the ride. To me, there's nothing too much I can say about them. It's really just part of the experience. Although Lose Your Smile is where it's at almost at the beginning, almost reminds me of Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead. That's the vibe I get from it. I really love the acoustic guitar melodies up against the like choral pads, which they've seemed to be utilizing throughout the album, organs, and then of course they sneak in a fuzz lead, which if it were up to me, every song would have a fuzz lead. Any song, any album, you name it, put a fuzz lead in. Huge fan of fuzz. One day I'll have to give a digital tour of the different fuzz that I have, perhaps a tutorial if you want to hear what some of them sound like. I'm not sure how many of you give a fuck about that, but let me know in the comment section if you want to know what fuzzes I have. For guitar, that is. Woo, for some reason, really reminds me of a slower, dreamier, more synth out I Melt With You by the Modern English. I actually went and listened to the song right after I listened to Woo, and yeah, no, I'm not backing down from that. Someone's gonna argue with me about that, but literally that's the vibe I got from it. Like, definitely sounds like Melt With You, or like a different version or a different take of it. There's a lot of textures swirling and flanging about on this one. It seems like there's like little samples of people talking or laughing, and of course, woo! Girl here was cool, not too much to say about it. Kind of feel about it the same way that I do Black Car and Drunk in LA. Although out of all three of those, I would say that Drunk in LA I favor out of both of those two, that I feel again like are just part of the experience of the album. But the closer is an intimate piano song that kind of builds up and turns into a dream pop ballad almost that seems to increase in intensity and tempo, and then ends on a lead that sounds like it could have been straight out of Smashing Pumpkins' Adore album, particularly the song Perfect. The feedback builds up into these beautiful oscillating notes, and then all of a sudden it just dies down and just fades out. And the fade out for a second almost reminded me of Closed Down from The Cure, like the ending of it, where it just kind of just, I don't know, it's just my opinion. All in all, I totally enjoyed this album. It kind of really makes me want to go check out some of their other stuff. Anybody want to throw it in the comment section, something you suggest? Really liked it. I feel kind of bad that I dissed it out of spite, but that dude was really annoying. You know the type. Those guys that think that because they listen to a particular indie band that they're curing cancer with their taste, or they dress like what they listen to, or they're just dicks in general. Anyways, let's have fun with this thing. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked how they had the touches of different dream pop influences in their music. Like, I really felt like I was hearing some Jesus Mary Chain, some early era Smashing Pumpkins, some My Bloody Valentine, like, easily. It was a really good album. And then I do like the kind of like slight hip hop influence on some of these. Like I said, some of these sound like the drum rhythms are from a drum machine, and Lemon Glow is still stuck up my head. And the last song, yeah, I dig that. But anyways, first dream pop rock review, and I only go back and forth like that because I know there's going to be somebody out there in the comment section that's like, oh, this isn't rock, this is dream pop. Oh, this isn't dream pop, this is shoegaze. Oh, this ain't shoegaze, this is chill wave. Oh, this ain't this is la 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 la. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see you next time on another episode of Submarine Media. Go ahead and suggest something that you want me to review, watch, or react to.